Hello everyone, my name is Emma Campbell. I'm one of the GPs working at Attune. I'd just like to talk about a few strategies that might help us with our mental health at times of challenge, like at the moment. I talked briefly in the last video about how we're feeling in ourselves, the way we move, the way we breathe, the way we think and the way we speak. And I guess I really wanted to make some other suggestions about the way we connect with others, the way we're eating, what we're doing for the way we're resting, and also just the way we're approaching others, being kind, and I guess being kind to ourselves too. So starting at the beginning, I guess looking at the way we connect with others it can be a real challenge at a time like this where we're finding that we're separated physically from the people we care about. We do know that when we're with people we love and we're having a hug, we release that lovely feel-good hormone oxytocin, the same ones that mothers release when they're breastfeeding children. It does give you a warm, connected feeling. Other ways we release that lovely hormone is even singing with people we not even necessarily people we love, but singing together or making music together often releases that hormone. So these things can be challenging because we can't do some of the things we used to do that make us feel connected, but there are other things we can do. And the things we know that are really sensible and helpful at a time like this are making phone calls to the people we care about, making, whether it's Zoom or WhatsApp or whatever, you have a face-to-face contact even though you're not in the same room, and lots of texting, and thankfully we have this opportunity to continue to reach out to people that we know and love. And having 400 or 500 friends on Facebook is not quite the same as having someone that you feel that you can call and actually reach out to and share how you're really feeling. So seeking those friendships and supporting others does help to feed that, to bring that back to you. I think looking for a few close friends that particularly have similar values or interests to you, looking for positive goal-orientated people help to lift you as well rather than you doing all that lifting and helping with other people. So it may not be the time to start a new stamp collecting club, but a virtual stamp collecting club could be the answer for you to find people who really care about what you care about. Talking about the way we eat, it's super valuable right now to be examining the way we eat because our food and our mood are intimately connected. And our naturopath Helen has released a beautiful little cookbook that just sort of illustrates some of the things I'm talking about. That when we have a diet that is rich in whole foods, minimally processed, particularly plant foods, our microbiome, or the little germs that live inside us, absolutely love that. That high fiber diet does wonderful things for releasing chemicals that actually make us feel good. When we're having a really processed diet, everything that you can pull out of a packet that sort of looks like a food but probably is just a bunch of chemicals that taste like food, it doesn't really make us feel full. It does release chemicals in our brain that make us feel like we've had, heroin or something. It does make us feel good, but it doesn't fulfill that hunger. We're often still hungry afterwards. We want more of the same things. We're not satisfied. That's because fiber is an important part of telling our body that we are full, and usually highly processed foods don't have a whole lot of that stuff. So getting that, lots of whole plant foods in your diet, ideally a good 3 big handfuls every day, or 2 serves of fruit and 5 serves of veggies, along with whole grains, makes an enormous difference to the way you feel. I will put in some resources about that so you can read more about it, or potentially do an online course that's free through the Food and Mood Centre in Australia about improving mental health through your diet, which is, is actually the very first line in terms of dealing with mood disorders. Not just diet, but improving the way we eat, improving the way we move, looking at our rest, looking at stopping smoking, minimizing alcohol consumption. All those things just really lay the bedrock for good mental health. So moving on to one of the things I just mentioned, rest. Ideally at a time like this, we're looking at getting adequate sleep. For different people that does look different, but ideally for an adult, most adults about 7 or 8 hours a night. And ideally at a fairly set time. So you're getting up and going to bed within about an hour of the same time every day, weekdays and weekends. Because otherwise we do get a bit of jet lag. If we work on Monday, we wake up and it's pretty hard to get out of bed. So minimizing light pollution is also really helpful. Not having a lot of blue light from our devices before going to sleep, that does make it hard for our body to release melatonin, our sleepy hormone. So minimizing that sort of thing. Also minimizing or avoiding caffeine later in the day particularly, and making sure that with you getting up mostly in the same time, getting plenty of sunshine in that early part of the day, because it does make it easier to go to sleep for people who are having trouble going to sleep. For some people who are having trouble going to sleep, it's because so much is going through your head, or you go to sleep okay and you wake up and then there's a lot going through your head. I tend to encourage people to set aside a little bit of a worry time every day if that's you. Maybe 4 p.m, you write down all your concerns, you think about what you can fix, what you can't fix, and then you can let it go. A bit later on when you want to wake up and have a worry, go, oh, I don't need to do this, I've already done it. And some people find that quite helpful. And I would encourage you to think about once a week having a really big rest where you switch off from responsibilities from work, focus on relationships, focus on health, what brings meaning and purpose to your life. Maybe have a bit of a digital detox that day as well. So you can, if you're prone to a bit of doom scrolling, you can just let yourself sort of reboot and reset away from that. And I guess the last thing I wanted to have a quick chat with you about was kindness. At a time like this, it's really important to be kind to yourself, to speak to yourself in the way you'd speak to a dear friend, and also performing acts of kindness for others, whether it's letting someone in the traffic in front of you, or doing big things like maybe paying for someone else's groceries behind you and sneaking out before they see you, or something like that. Being kind or doing an act of kindness for others, whether it's for someone you know or someone you don't know, is in the research the most evidence-based as the most reliable source of increase in positive emotions in anything that we've studied. So being kind to others or service to others is one of the biggest things. So all the other stuff sort of like a foundation, and this is a big fairy dust sprinkle on top to make things easier for you, make you feel better. In a way, kindness is almost selfish because it does make you feel so good. So I would encourage you to try and find a way of being kind today and each day. And like I said in my previous video, looking at what went well each day, maybe have a chat about that, or talk to a friend, or write it down, and have a little think at the end of each day. How have I been kind? How have I seen kindness? Because it's not just about you being kind, it's you experiencing it and seeing it and feeling faith in humanity again, that we can do nice things to one another and we can pull together in hard times. Okay, hopefully I'll see you around.